Never ready. Here we go. Unintelligent intellectuals, round 4.
Or is it 5?
Oh shit.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, yeah, because we have the unspoken episode. No.
that won't even be on a Patreon.
Yeah, that one's a little dicey.
That'll be saved for a rainy day.
Yeah. Controversy, you say? Here we go. Oh shit. That's how it starts. Well, start this video from a word from our sponsor, Mr. Polanski.
Shut the fuck
up. How old is 13 really?
Have a Roman Polanski conversation again.
No. I will stop. We established, I'm trying to pick up from last time. It was a while ago. Skipped a few weeks. But yeah, these stinky, mean, poopy people. Or just actually
stinky, mean, poopy people.
Yeah. Alright, break. I mentioned a lot of things. I remember that's pedophilia a little bit, but and then the guy's name who had that school that he started up in Atlanta, Georgia. I forgot his first name again. Fuck. King is his last name though. So King School is like an example of doing like a good thing in a small way, kind of like how Spider-Man is like the neighborhood superhero. So... Was
he a pedophile?
No.
Oh.
No.
This you segued it.
Yeah, man, that's my fault. No. We were talking about pedophilia, and then our last episode, and then we were talking about a lot of other things, and one of them was about this guy who created a school, and he was just like helping out disadvantaged kids in a bad neighborhood in Atlanta, mm-hmm. and his and he said that the number one problem that people face, that kids face at his school, was is being sexually abused at home, and that's why he wanted to do primarily a boarding school. Oh. Yeah, but that was just like, and it's nothing big. He doesn't have any like a big operation or anything.
Well, I don't think we hear. Really great timing for a big fucking yawn. Jesus. Yeah. I don't think we hear enough about the kind of pedophilia and child abuse that happens in black neighborhoods. Yeah. And communities.
That's honestly, it's the first time that I've really heard about it. To be honest,
I've heard a lot.
That's crazy. Yeah.
No.
You know what?
Lot.
It's the second time. The first time, I don't remember if it was I think it was The Color Purple that I was watching, and then it was just like, wait, and I didn't really keep up with what was going on. It's like, wait, he's...
But have you had those conversations?
definitely talked to my kids about, like, hey, watch out for this.
I mean, people that you know that have experienced that.
No, I haven't. Well, I haven't imagined, like, the only person that I've known was, like, in high school, one of her friends, like, she was, okay. I'm gonna cut this off, too. Both of you go stand. Now. I don't want to hear a word. Both of you. Speaking about ass whoopings.
You're gonna have to do a lot of editing.
Fuck. It's 5 minutes in and just going through it. What happens when the missus is asleep? But no, I haven't. Like, I've talked to my folks. My kids about it, and
I know like 7.
Huh? Really? Holy shit!
Like everybody.
Man, you know what? Maybe it's different because I'm one of the privileged ones.
I think you're just too nice, so people don't tell you dark things.
Yeah, there's like, let me not ruin this guy's life.
Yeah, you're this guy who's just like, hey, everything's going great. And then, like, you kind of just do your thing, and then me, I'm having all these conversations, like, this, and it's like, oh yeah, I was touched as this, that, and the other. I know a lot.
That's crazy, man. Yeah,
All black. I've never been a single white person that was touched.
damn. You know,
Now, obviously, there's a ton.
Yeah.
But personally, I know a lot from the black community.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I just, I'm trying to, like, cycle through my childhood. I'm trying to think about, like, anybody who, yeah, there's only one person that really comes to mind, and she's Asian, but, and her story was just, like, her mother's boyfriend had been, like, abusing her for years,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember it being such a shock, and it was like 12 of us, and we're like, "Well, whoop this guy's ass!" And it's just like, and she finally like built up the courage to like tell her mother about it, and her mother just
Was she like a
didn't believe
teenager?
her. Yeah, she's a teenager at this point. Like,
Oh, no, I'm talking
we're in
about
high school.
kids.
Yeah, kid, I can't even.
Yeah,
I can't even
I'm
fathom.
talking about like 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 8-year-olds.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
no, yeah, I hadn't talked to anybody about who's at least admitted to me that anything like that's happened, like white or black. Like nobody's ever told me. Yeah, so
I don't know why I
All right, well, we ran out of stuff to talk about, James. By the way, did you know?
Let me just drop this tidbit in there for you.
Yeah, but I've always thought like it was just gross. Like it was just, and I think that's why when I saw like those the statistics or like has like or sign up to the like the newsletter and that's like every week was like, oh, another pedophile ring. I was like, the fuck is happening? Like I thought the world was ending or some shit. I was like, I just didn't understand what was. Yeah, I didn't know it was that prevalent. Let alone the African American community. Oh, the other time I was watching.
Well, because it's not talked about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I mean, maybe it could be media not really giving a shit because they're black and they're poor, but I just know, like, it usually almost tends to be like this, like, we only care when it's people that are like middle and upper middle class.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sad, man. But yeah, the truth is, I think it was the same thing with
like nobody gives a shit if someone's boyfriend is touching the kid that's like living in a trailer park.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, they're trailer park trash, and who gives a shit?
Yeah. Yeah. Bunch of Sean's from Boy Meets World. Fuck that guy.
Just like the people in the hood or whatever, like
yeah.
Nobody cares.
Oh yeah, that's the crux of society. I mean, the same thing with the age thing when it's like someone fucked a monkey. Look at all these queers. Got what you deserved. And then it's like, oh, this poor little white kid got it. And not to devalue his, his life, but
are you shooting on
that,
Philadelphia?
No, what is it? I think it's Ryan. I think his name is Ryan White. He was because everything I hear about with AIDS, like, oh, the Ryan White Care Act about AIDS and all that jazz. It's like,
is that what that movie's about?
Oh, there's a movie about it?
Philadelphia.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the whole
Tom
city.
Hanks, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, no,
the Philadelphia movie.
Oh, no, I thought you were just talking about when I said
Denzel Washington's his lawyer, and he sues his employer because they fired him because he was gay.
Oh, no.
And he dies of AIDS at the end of it.
When you said shitting on Philadelphia, I thought you meant like, oh, you said little white boy.
Well, I said shooting. Like a wrestling shoot. Like, you're shooting on the movie Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I was not talking about the city. I don't know if they had an AIDS problem.
Yeah, I was like, oh. I mean, I just imagine it's Philadelphia. They have all kind of problems. Cheesesteak's good, though. No, but I haven't seen that movie. I'll check it out.
I'm surprised.
But yeah, when a little kid died, it was a blood transfusion. He needed a blood transfusion, and then I think he got contracted AIDS because of that, and then when he passed, or when that story came to light, then everybody started caring a little bit more about, or feeling a little bit more sympathetic towards people who got AIDS. As opposed to before, it was just, oh, it's just a bunch of gays and ass fuckers. Who cares? Monkey fuck, whatever. But Well, yeah, when that happened, then just like everybody started to care. But I think it was The Color Purple, and like in the beginning of the movie, it was just like cause I couldn't tell you what it was about because I couldn't watch it, and they were just like, oh yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah, I think I am just a little too too. I don't want to be around all that wild shit. But just because like this dude, this older black dude, was like looking to marry somebody. Like these girls were like barely teenagers, and then it showed like shows them like starting to abuse them, and like he's about to rape them, and I'm just like no, I can't watch shit like this. So I just
That sounds intense.
yeah. And I was like, oh, it's a great movie. I was like, fuck it, man, I'll take your word for it. I'm gonna go watch
I can handle that stuff.
yeah, it's dark shit.
I got a strong stomach.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little, grew up on a little too much Disney for that.
You're Disney.
Yeah. How we treat each other, or how, like, doing good in a small way. It is, if enough people do great things in small ways, we'll be able to, affect change of the world, Disney and shit. Yeah.
I'm confused as what you're trying to say. Because you said, these got these different small problems with AIDS and pedophilia.
Let me. Did I say it like that? They ain't no small problems. Whatever.
No. And then you said we just need to do, good things and great ways and great things in good ways.
Yeah,
And I'm like, is he?
Yeah, AIDS and pedophilia.
What are good things?
Ask Mr. Polanski. No.
Directing movies.
let me do better with I'm not even
articulating
drunk.
yourself.
Yeah, I'm not even drunk. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I think my kids are throwing me off. All right. No, like King School, where like he's creating like a boarding school and taking everybody under his taking a bunch of kids out of bad environments that they might
You're going back to that guy who's trying to help people.
Yeah. So I just praising him for doing like a great thing for X amount of people, even though it's not like in like world size proportions, but like helping individual people. If enough people just help in small ways with like big issues, is what I was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think things will be more manageable. There'll be less problems in the world than there are right now. And I was trying to make another Marvel reference to Spider-Man. He's the greatest superhero ever. Like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man kind of guy. Like, all right, just like helping out one old lady at a time, and then occasionally like tackling the big baddies. But wasn't trying to downplay AIDS and pedophilia as small problems, but
no, I thought when you said people doing good things, I was like, well, what good things?
I'm coming off of a nap, but it makes better sense in my head. I was like, oh, this sounds good, right? I don't think it. Yeah, sure it is. It all comes out just like that when I'm drunk. So, welcome to Sleepy Rob. But yeah, sorry to all 5 subscribers that we have. That we've been on a little bit of hiatus, but
there's an uptick.
Yeah, almost 20% growth right there. So I'm a fan. But that's what we're hoping to do with this podcast. Get rich. Just kidding. It's like that song.
One day at a time.
Yeah, man. But just trying to do bring. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
Yeah. Do you need help?
Fuck what I'm trying to do. trying to. Yeah.
Maybe you need to re-look over your notes.
Yeah, fuck notes. solve a little bit what's going on. And, yep.
Why did you slur that sentence?
Who needs alcohol when you have Sleepy Rob on the job?
At least you got some good jokes.
Yeah, trying.
Okay.
I'm sleepy and I'm sorry.
That's another good one. Sleepy and I'm sorry. Actually, I'm black and I'm sorry. It has to be one of the greatest things ever. I'm black and I'm sorry.
I was honestly at the airport and I was like, oh, I see you got your lotion on. And she's like, yeah, you know, haha, ashy skin. I'm black, haha, sorry. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, I have a shirt that you need to buy.
Well, I remember, Killer Mike?
Yeah.
Killer Mike said he was going to come up with a shirt that says, white people won, #stay woke.
Jesus. Oh.
Me didn't make that shirt.
Oh, man. He's a character.
Oh. Alright, so let's go into the big topic at hand, which is the
Fresh and Fit controversy, man.
the civil war happening in the Manoverse.
Yeah.
Oh, Manoverse, God, I'm watching too much Marvel. Manosphere.
Oh.
I've been watching too much Marvel, so I got like the multiverse.
I didn't even know what it was. You put me on the Manosphere.
Manosphere.
Yeah. I mean, I watch other. I'm on YouTube sometimes. I'll watch. I like the finance.
It's a coin phrase. It's just like what was that called a couple of years ago? The dark web or not the dark web. What like the Weinstein brothers, Peterson, Sam Harris, Rogan.
Okay.
You don't remember this? It was like the intellectual dark net or some dark web.
That's what they call them. So yeah.
No, it was CoinMat.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not hip to all the happenings. Like I always find out everything after the fact.
Yeah.
I'm too busy stringing my
it
thoughts
happened
together.
so long ago, and it's like a phrase that's now gone. So like I haven't heard it in years.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was called the intellectual dark web. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah, but I mean, I appreciate them for what they do. Fresh and Fit. I mean,
Fresh and Fit.
Yeah, because I watch a Minority Report for finance and Chris Chrome and all that, and Thomas DeLauer for fitness and diet tricks and Athlean X and stuff like that. But because I'm boring and married, so I don't have to watch the dating stuff. But it's kind of cool they put it all in one, and I watch some stupid shit just to laugh. So I've seen a couple of their videos. I didn't know that they do all that stuff. They talk about finance and all that jazz. I was like, oh shit, that's cool that they do that.
But they make their bones shitting on women.
Yeah, that's all I've seen. I've only seen a couple episodes,
or flipping out on women.
Yeah,
I don't know what to call it.
I've seen a couple clips, and it's just that and they've always struck me as they've definitely struck me as intelligent, but they've always struck me as somewhat hurt or defensive sometimes.
On my phone?
Yeah. I'm gonna be suffering for the next 20 minutes because of that interruption. No, but
you're gonna spend 20 minutes just editing out shit.
No.
All right, so let's get back.
No, yeah, you're talking about
So there is
a
podcast world for that woke stuff.
Yeah.
And even the subscriber count can be big, but the amount of views per video they get is unbelievably lopsided to their subscriber count.
Right.
They'll have videos that get some traction and will have those hundreds of thousands of views, but 70% of the videos that they're putting out, they're getting 15, 30,000, but they have subscriber counts of 500,000 or 5 million.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could have 5 million subscribers, put out a video, and a week later it's got 12,000 views.
Yeah. That's just like how like fakes or phony statistics where it's like or skewed statistics where it's like it misrepresents how many people you actually have engaged in what you're producing.
Well, the podcast world, that's arrogant.
No, it's not. We have 5 subscribers, halfway to double digits, baby.
No, I'm talking about.
It's like
I'm talking about like the people who are into podcasts.
Yeah.
Because not everybody are listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
So people who are into podcasts, they're watching that stuff at least semi-regularly. Yeah. Because they like the content that those people are putting out.
Yeah.
Whereas something that is like, we'll say woke, is sometimes, it doesn't always have a lot of substance. It's just about signaling and calling something out. Yeah. So you're having very surface levels of support. Because people aren't there.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They're just press the subscribe button.
They're there to subscribe and to like a video every now and then. Maybe comment in the comment. Whereas like somebody who likes
really wants to tune in and engage.
A good podcast out there for people that is like a more. It's a similar style. Well, it's not similar at all. The Roommates. They've been on Fresh and Fit a couple of times. The Roommates are very good, very measured. 2 black guys just having conversations.
Okay.
So it's black positivity, but it's also talking about male positivity. So like there's a lot of good that comes out of their podcast. If you're subscribing to that podcast, it's because you want to listen to what they have to say.
Yeah.
You're looking for the next thing that's coming out. It's like, oh, well, this video, maybe I'm not into that because the title's not grabbing, but this video is talking about issues with dating and if is social media necessary?
Right.
That might be really interesting because you're like, well, maybe they have some interesting takes about that. I'm going to listen to that because I want to get the knowledge that get the knowledge that they have.
Yeah. I want to pick their brain a little bit. And it's kind of like a snapshot into like being a fly in the wall in that conversation. So it's like. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. I'm going to use that little nugget here, this nugget there, and if it's entertaining, it's a plus. Or you could use something that they said into shaping the way that you think, or in the next conversation you have, and that's a plus. So yeah, I get it, and yeah, I think Fresh and Fit. I've always like I don't listen to too many podcasts, and I think it's like, well, Fresh and Fit is like one example. Just like, it's not really my thing.
You're just going in there every now and
then. Like I'll see clips like every now and then, but I've never like it's like in the second video that we made. That's labeled our YouTube first video. Not our actual first video, but the one that's Anyways, our first video. It was I went on like a drunken tirade about like gold diggers, and it's because I was like when I first watched Fresh and Fit, and I was just like, why are they messing with like these like I don't understand this shit.
And then I had to try to explain to you. No, these are like the relationship dynamics of like the starting points.
Right, and I was just
I'm pretty, and then you are successful, and this is how we're meeting.
And I was just so upset about it just because it's not.
But you now understand what I'm talking about.
Right, and also I was drunk, so I sounded just like I did at the beginning of this one. But like it was just
They're not with them for the money, but the reason why the reason why he's at her table is because he has money.
Yeah.
So there's a difference. The gold digger is someone who's seeking out money from a man, whereas like a very attractive woman that knows that a lot of guys want to be with her, she just has her standard up to a certain point because she knows the type of guy that
she's capable of
she can attract.
Yeah, I follow. Yeah.
Which she also knows that she also has to do something to make him want her because she knows that she's also competing with all these other women. So so if he decides to get married, he's then, in a way, depending on your arrangements, he's now lessening his ability to get sexual access from other women.
I follow.
So
it's
because she's now choosing him, they're predicated on the other, right? Like if she gains 100 pounds, that's why he's going to divorce her, because he's like,
ugh.
Unless they're older. Unless
I follow.
But like, if he's like 45 years old and she's like just turned 30 and
she
put on 100 pounds, it's like, well, I can upgrade and get better. So
yeah.
Just like if he loses all his money, she's like, well, I did.
That's not why
I'm not like with you for your money, but at the same time, I'm not with you to live in a shack.
Like, right. Like, this isn't fun. You've changed, but yeah, I'm not. You might as well be talking about Jupiter, because like, before I started watching some of those clips, because I'm just like, that's so outside of what I'm.
The fresh and fit stuff.
Yeah. Just because it's so outside of what I understand, dating wise, I'm just like, because I'm dedicated.
Well, they're not getting like really great value people.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing.
They're just like throwing invites out to like Instagram and OnlyFans chicks and then pulling them in.
So I've only seen like a handful of clips, but every time I see them, I'm just like, yo, who are these?
Well, that's why Ab and Preach were in their reaction. So for anybody listening that doesn't know, or most people might not know, depending on what you're paying attention to. So Ab and Preach did a reactionary video to their appearance on the Fresh and Fit podcast. Mm-hmm. From there, Fresh and Fit,
they felt betrayed, got emotional.
They went over the top emotional, like went after the countries where they're from, their physical appearances. One of the guys, Preach's wife, called her an orca whale. So they went way over the top. So then that's where this rift is right now. Well, that's why Ab and Preach, when they were talking about, like, it's funny, you bring some 20-year-old on who has an opinion, and then you go, oh, you're stupid because of, like, all these lists of facts. It's like, this chick's not going to have any facts. She's not going to have any statistics, any information. Everything that she's saying is just feelings because she's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Like, any 20-year-old woman, like 99% of them, are going to sound like a complete idiot when they're talking about
somebody who has
how culture and society works with women. Like, because they're not intelligent enough. Yeah, because they're a kid.
And they're
same thing for men.
And they're not in that sphere. Like, I mean, if you're talking about like a 20-year-old who's like valedictorian,
99%. No, not even that. I don't even get it. Come on, that's a grade.
Yeah. Just because you score these grades doesn't mean that you're an intelligent person. No, yeah, I'm just.
I mean, it doesn't mean you have like a firm grasp on how like society works.
Yeah. No, not to say that. That's a bad way to place it. Because what I'm saying, like, I've met really young people who are really well versed in the world and have their thoughts fully formed.
Overwhelming majority of young people, especially who are going on platforms. See, that's the thing. It's like, if you were a 20-year-old and you had a good grasp on who you were and like how things are, you're not going on a podcast. If you are, you're going on a podcast that is like fun.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is cool. We're going to talk about Marvel, and I love Marvel. I'll go on that podcast because I love Marvel. Or I love football, or I really like music, and I want to talk about these up-and-coming rappers. It's going to be something like that. Well, you're going to look at the Fresh and Fit, see how they go, and go, oh, no.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether my opinion, like, is similar to them or different, a woman who knows herself and knows what the world is like is going to see that and be like, I don't want any part of this.
I follow. No, but I'm sure that there's some, because like I remember going to high school with girls who were just like really knowledgeable of stuff that's going on in the world that I had no idea about. And then they would
they wouldn't go on that. That's my point. They wouldn't go on that podcast.
Well, I could imagine some of them who are like, and then they're passionate about relationships and they see this podcast and they're like, oh, this is ridiculous. Like, they're still not going to be able to back up what they're just not interested. I just don't see anybody like that, any intelligent, like, not to say that there's no intelligent or the majority of women who are 20-year-old or whatever aren't intelligent.
The majority of 20-year-olds are not
but not to...
they don't have the life experiences that...
Right, but at the same time...
Don't give them credit.
Well, I'll say it like this. Because I've come across people who are knowledgeable and have that. So it's not, and I'm not gonna say that they're the majority. They're definitely in the minority. So
Yeah, exactly.
so
It's very few.
I follow what you're saying, but I'm just saying that there are people out there who are well versed and fully formed the thoughts and at that age, but they're just like you said, they're just not interested in. They'll see that and they're like, oh, this is ridiculous. I don't want any part of that, or they're just so involved in some other issue.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying they're gonna see what it is,
Yeah.
and they're gonna make an intelligent, informed decision to not go on the podcast.
Mm. Well, I don't, but those even the ones that are like, oh, I like to talk about relationships, and they have
those are the worst ones.
Well,
those are the ones that don't have a clue about what they're talking about.
Well, I'm talking about the ones that do have a clue what they're talking about, and they want to talk about relationships.
They don't. They don't.
No, but I can imagine that maybe.
Okay, think about it.
Someone.
I pay attention to politics.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I try and understand politics. I try.
Right.
I try to have an open mind on things.
Yeah.
And like, if there's an international issue going on, I try and look into that a little bit, see what's going on, if there's different sides from it, or at least just try and be generally knowledgeable.
Right.
There are someone like a Don Lemon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like him that much. I think he's inconsistent. I think he just kind of follows a script and just guides people where they want to go and whatever like that.
Yeah.
I would never in a million years want to go on his show.
Right. I follow that. But
I really like discussing politics.
Yeah.
I would never in a million years.
Yeah.
You would like the amount of money you would have to pay me to go on his show, because I lose.
Yeah.
Like it's maybe I'm able to get some like I'm not ready to be on a national television segment show for like 5 minutes.
I follow.
That's what I'm saying. People who want to go on a show and talk about relationships are the people who don't know anything about what they're talking about. Because people who understand relationships are going to be like, oh my God, they're crazy. It's like, you want to go on and talk to them? No, they'll eat me alive. Because they're aware of it. They're aware of their own fallacies.
What if they, this is the scenario, this made up person that I have in my head.
The devil's advocate.
20-year-olds. But it's like somebody who's well versed and like they watch a lot of podcasts and been in some relationships, and they have a thought about how this whole thing is supposed to work out. And they see the show and they're like, wow, that's crazy. They're framing their conversations in such a way to make it look like they're always right. But I can see a flaw in their logic, or I can see where most people get emotional at the way that they're responding. I would love to get on the show and have a conversation, or I would love for somebody like me to be on the show to have a conversation about
of how the message, the true message of what Fresh and Fit have is pretty much 100% accurate. It's not even wrong.
I mean,
it's their delivery.
Yeah. I'm trying to.
It's their delivery.
I wish I knew more about Fresh and Fit to be able to let me just dissect
that's the point.
their.
It's like you're bringing on a 25-year-old girl who does OnlyFans, and then there's 3 other girls who are like 19 or 20. And they have Instagram accounts with like maybe 50,000 followers or something like that, and then they go in the show. Mm-hmm. They're stupid. They're dumb.
Well,
they're not intelligent people. They don't have these elaborate viewpoints on structure and relationship dynamics that are based off of like human nature and genetics and all that. Like, they don't have this.
Yeah.
Everything that Fresh and Fit are talking about is that, right? Women aren't the prize; the man's the prize.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because if you're an attractive woman and you're looking to be with a man, you're not a prize.
Yeah.
Because you're competing with other women for these type of guys that you want to be with.
Right.
Just like a guy who's not making a ton of money, who wants to be with an attractive woman, has to compete with all these other guys trying to get with that attractive woman.
Right.
So now she's the prize to him. Now when he then elevates himself more above the rest of the men, now he becomes the desirable man.
Mm-hmm.
And now then that guy is then the prize.
Right. And I'm
So these girls come in with like, oh, I'm the prize mindset, and it's like,
right.
well, you're not, because there's like 10 of me.
Right, and that's
there's 10 guys that you're trying to find in the entire country.
Yeah. No, I understand that logic, and I'm not talking about arguing against that logic. I'm more so talking about like the way that they're framing it. Just because it's like, and again,
well, they're
like,
bulldozing.
They're bulldozing, and they're looking
do bulldoze the conversation at times.
And they're looking at a very specific type of relationship. Like, I don't know, like, I really can't say. The discussion is that's.
No, you have to watch it more.
Okay.
So of one of the things that they'll do is they'll be like, what are you looking for?
Okay.
Or like, what are you attracted to? Right.
Okay.
6 feet, over 6 feet, makes over $150,000 a year. In shape, they're just making all these lists,
okay.
and then they're like, okay, you just listed like the most desirable guy, and there's less than 1% of those people on the planet.
Okay.
Go fuck yourself. Because they're still saying that I'm the prize. Like, what do you got to do?
Well, I want this, and of course,
what do you bring to the table? Oh, this body. It's like, okay, so does like 8 million women that just look just like you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They're getting low intelligent people. No one intelligent is going on that show as a woman.
Yeah, it's like a
porn stars could go on.
Yeah, but
because they usually can deal with that type of heat because they're used to it because they're constantly being disrespected.
Shitted on. Yeah,
so they can go in there and be like, I know what I'm going on. But then also, if you're in porn long enough where you're wanting to be brought on podcasts, you're also pretty smart and know the game already.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, no, I get it. Like, this is why men are this or that. Like, they're realists because they're like, yo, I've been doing porn for 20 years. Like, I got this.
Yeah. No,
I don't have this I don't have this disillusioned view on what like the industry is.
But has anybody ever come on the podcast? Female ever come on and say like oh, what do you want? It's like, oh, well, I'm attracted to of course height, fitness and money, but I'm more about if I vibe well with the person, if they like how they treat their mother. Has anybody ever come on and say anything like that?
I mean, to some degree. I mean, you'll have girls that are going to be like, well, like, I'm 5'2", so yeah, like tall guys are nice, but like as long as you're taller than me, it's
so they're like anybody. Yeah,
so they're like it's like you could be 5'5" and I date you. So then they're like, okay. Sometimes they'll like laugh and be like, you're capping.
No, but like it's like which it maybe. Well, maybe not. Like, maybe there's somebody.
That's my point. The type of women that are getting come on are just unbelievably dumb. Like,
yeah. And from what I've seen,
it's a girl that's 5'6", marginally attractive. Right?
Yeah.
Like, she's like an average 7. Like, she's just.
Yeah.
She's good. Most men would find her good looking, and that's about it.
Yeah.
She doesn't really have much interesting to say, and she's decent looking.
Yeah.
She's going on there and wants. She wants.
6'2", this 6 figures that.
Yeah, she wants a CEO kind of that looks like Tom Hiddleston.
No, I'll follow, and I'm not arguing against that because from what I've seen, that's like I was like, wait, why are you talking to? I hate to, I can't call them gold diggers, but that's my impression of them. Just because that's how I relate to my world experiences. Whenever I see them, it's just like when they're postulating, or like they're
in Miami.
Oh, well then, everyone's fake. Or at least
the amount of people that are walking around making like $300K is like it's non-existent. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
No. In Miami, there might be 100,000 guys that make that type of money.
Yeah.
You go into a state like Tennessee, there's probably only a handful, and they're all in like Memphis.
This is one guy who's not in Memphis, like, this motherfucker doesn't know nothing.
It's probably a couple. There's probably a couple hundred, maybe a few thousand in like the state of Tennessee.
Oh man. Well, nice place. Nice place.
No, I'm just.
I know.
They don't understand. They don't.
Put Tennessee above.
No. I'm just saying, like, they don't have like a rational idea of like what the world is.
Yeah.
Which is why they went on that show.
Yeah.
Because if they did have an idea, like if we got asked to go on someone's show, like for some reason someone listened to this and was like, "Hey, let's collab."
Oh, I like this. The way this guy stumbles on all his words. I need this guy on my show
What would we do?
Tomorrow.
What would we do? We're not gonna say just sure.
Of course,
and then
why not?
Give us an address. Like, we're gonna look at the content.
Right.
What are they saying? What are they doing? Is this gonna like make things difficult for us in our personal life?
Mm-hmm.
Are they a very controversial
How do they
podcast
keep
in
their
like
guests?
all
Yeah.
the wrong reasons? Controversial, not
Mhm.
like unreasonable.
Yeah.
Like, right? We're gonna look into it, and then we're gonna see it, and we're gonna be like, oh, no thanks, or sure, yeah, this would be great. We probably can't talk about X, Y, and Z, but
Yeah.
let us know if there's something you want to talk about in particular. But hell yeah, we're definitely down. You guys seem great.
Yeah.
If a chick was asked to go in there and she was intelligent, she would look at the podcast and she would immediately be like, oh no, I'm not getting yelled at and thrown out and being called a bitch and all that. Like, I'm not going to deal with that.
Yeah. No, I follow that. I'm just trying to imagine, like let's say if it was like I imagine like my girl at 20, and I didn't know her at 20, so I can't speak on how she was, but I know how she is now. So let's say if she had her mentality now she's 28, and she was 20, she's looked at that podcast and so asked her to go there, she'd be like, oh, like she's a very like no bullshit kind of person. She's like, that's fuck. Like she would want to go on there and tell her how she thinks.
That's not good.
Well, like it's just not in a
because
let me tell you something, but just in a.
Here's the thing. She has, I don't know her, but like the majority of people that want to go on and then tell them, oh, you're wrong here, this, that, and the other, they have feelings about certain issues when it comes to dating.
Yeah.
They have a structured argument with bullet points, follow-up points, and statistical analysis to back up every single thing that they have to say. You're fucked. If you go on that show trying to give them your point of view, you're fucked.
Yeah. But what if you?
Hence why I get called graphs by the chick.
Fucking graphs. But like, what if somebody goes on?
I've gotten in multiple arguments with like ex-girlfriends because we would start going down something, and I would have boom, 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 boom. I've got like 5 points on gender studies issues or something like that, right? I've got a couple of bullet points. I know how to keep on track on those points. I know how to go into depth on those points, or at least talk around them enough. I've researched a lot of the identifying terms, and I still like try and keep up and try and understand the gender spectrums and what's being said and how what I agree with, what I disagree with. The person who I'm getting in the argument with has none of that.
Not ready. Yeah.
They don't have any of that. They were probably they were taught some stuff in school, and they have their belief and feeling on it, and that's it. They don't really give a shit about it. Yeah. In the grand scheme of things. Right. I do, and I will kill you in a debate. Yeah. If you do not understand the whole gender thing, I'm going to destroy you. Right.
Yeah, and my missus, she would like she structured like the way she'll say it. She'd be like, well, I can't speak on the majority of people or statistically what's pertinent. You might be 100% right when it comes to that, but from my personal experience, what I'm looking for in a guy is X, Y, Z. And it's like, like this stuff is attractive, but what I really care about is the capability of building something, and what they bring, whether we could come to the table, whether we could have a good time together, whether we can have like I a conversation about things that we disagree on a regular basis because she comes from a dysfunctional household. She's she has really strong opinions, but she's willing to sit down and have conversations about people she disagrees with. So
different baselines of where she's starting off, or where she wants the guy to start off.
Yeah, so it's not like she's not like, oh, let me tell something to you. No, this is why you're wrong. She's just more so like, well, we're not all bad. And let me give you my example as to how and why. And so it's like
it's just very difficult when someone has
it's kind of like how I remember watching something about a reality show. Like they have I'm sorry. No. But they have people set up in such a way to that they have like professionals on the shows, like psychologists and stuff like that. That purposely get certain, like they select people and they'll push at your buttons over and over again just to elicit some kind of reaction. And then once you have that reaction and they put it on film, it's entertaining and everyone gets paid. And that's what they do that on purpose. And so it's not like so much a big old stage act. It's just that I'm gonna put this stick of dynamite here.
Well, it's like the challenges, the MTV challenge.
Yeah.
For the real world challenges.
Right. So it's like
they just have all these people in a house and just give them free alcohol.
So eventually, shit's gonna happen. Yeah. So it's kind of like Fresh and Fit.
They can't leave. They have to just stay in the house. And drink.
Like, I don't know how to deal with this. They're on the phone with their mom. They're just recording very private conversations. It's like, hey man, I heard you call me a bitch. But it's almost like the same kind of setup. It's like they have on Fresh and Fit. They have these well articulated and fleshed out statistical facts about the dynamics of a relationship, and they'll bring people on that they know are aesthetically pleasing to look at, but most likely volatile when pushed on certain issues. And I think they push those buttons on purpose to get that reaction, or just to showcase maybe that's the formula that they have. Like, this is popular. Let's put these pretty girls in their place over and over and over again, as opposed to bringing on somebody who's just like, all right, just let me bring in some average person who talk about their experience. Like, oh yeah, I would like this, I would like that, but you know what? I found somebody who's this, and I'm happy with that. No. It's gonna be so much work. But yeah, I would so it's almost a setup. So I'm curious to know if they brought anybody on who kind of has that kind of like, oh yeah, like
it's not all a shit show.
Yeah.
There obviously are some, or there's a group of 3 girls that are on, and those 3 girls are all pretty much normal.
Yeah.
They don't have any weird thing that they expect to happen in their life. Like, they all have rational points, and then they have questions, and there's not too much. There's like no yelling at all.
Yeah.
That does happen. Vastly not the case.
Well, does that ever happen with people who disagree with them? Like, they could have a rational argument or a conversation with someone who agrees with them. Like,
it's not always screaming. Yeah, like, it's not always screaming.
Okay. I'll check it out a little bit.
Well, we'll work back to the original point of this. I think what people aren't liking is because,
regardless of what the show brings and what it's done for people.
Well, the whole thing is supposed to be telling us, here's how these top tier, high value alpha men are. This is how they are. This is how they act. This, that, and the other. But then we're looking at how they move, and it's not very alpha.
Yeah.
Because an alpha is going to want to do something that is making him better.
Mm-hmm.
So he would want to have conversations with other people that
would challenge his way of thinking, or make him
at least
look good.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good, not in a
challenge it, but with their own information.
Yeah. In a constructive
not just a bunch
way.
Of personal feelings that are just reactionary because you got a 20-year-old chick who dropped out of high school and is doing porn.
Right. So it's like Yeah, the way I look at
You would be having more constructive conversations if in my opinion, if they were these quote unquote alphas.
Different, yeah. Or
they're not going to keep bringing on these just day after day after day, just bringing on like just random Instagram and OnlyFans and strippers from LA.
And I think they do it is all for sensation, because it's like if they really wanted
they're generating
to have
views.
Yeah. Like if you really want to have a genuine conversation with somebody who disagrees with you, it's like, all right, well, let me meet you where you are, and then I'm gonna help you cross over the bridge to where the way that I think. Not because I'm trying to persuade you, but because I want you to understand.
Bill Maher's a perfect example.
Yeah. That's
Now, I don't necessarily like the structured format of it.
Well, he's on HBO, so I mean, he
has an hour.
He has a lot of restrictions on how he can operate his show. But
well, because he has the one person come on, they talk, and then they turn around, and then he's got that person might stay and then join him at the table with then like 2 or 3 other people.
Yeah.
So
I think he does he does one thing with one person,
but he brings people on that actually can
challenge
they can back up what they think.
Yeah, he's not gonna. Oh yeah, I met this guy Charlie down at the gas station on the way in, and I brought him in on the show. Let's see what Charlie thinks about
Like one of the most viral moments he's had on that show was when Ben Affleck was on, and he had Sam Harris as a guest.
Oh,
where they were talking about. They were critiquing Islam, Islamic extremism, and more so fundamentalist Islam. So, that's what it'd be called, fundamentalists. Yeah. So, obviously, the more stricter conservative factions of the religion. And Sam Harris was trying to explain, and Bill also, that like, it's not that there's a lot of terrorists. There's a lot of people that have the same viewpoints.
Systems, yeah.
Like if they'll do a poll, like 90% of Muslims in London were polled, and they thought that it should be a criminal offense to be a homosexual.
Or I think it was it's probably not that high to be a homosexual in London. If you do that for probably in Saudi Arabia, they'd be that high. But I guarantee you,
it was the Muslims in London.
Oh, really? Like, to be a homosexual should be a crime?
Crime against the state.
Oh, wow. I would imagine that if it was like critiquing what's his face?
We're talking about radical views, right? We're talking about
but if it's like
legally raping women, it's
but if it was like 90% of Muslims in London, I would think that they would be against like the cartoonists who made fun of the Prophet.
They probably are.
But that statistic makes more. But to be, but I mean, I don't know what the statistic is. But
none of the statistics are good when you poll Muslims. Maybe in America, I don't think they're not that extreme, but there's just a lot of refugees.
Yeah, but
that is literally why England left the EU, because it didn't want any more refugees.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Or not literally, but that was one of the major issues, because they didn't want to be forced to accept these people because they've made their country worse.
Yeah.
There's just higher rates of crime, and it's like against Jews and women.
Yeah, I follow.
Sexual assaults are up. There's acid attacks.
Yeah, that's a.
Then there was the London bus stabbings.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that'd be something I'd like to dive.
But
into
they were
that.
I'd like
to look into that. Yeah, but I remember they were talking about.
And then he was saying that it was racist, which is stupid because it's a religion.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say. You could disagree with that, with the validity of the statistic. Maybe the way that it was framed, or the question, or you could argue from that aspect.
Affleck was completely off base. He was giving a very stereotypical liberal emotional response.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to protect these people. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Because he was then talking about, other religions have bad ideas and this, that, and the other. And then Sam Harris, it's yes, but Islam is the motherlode of bad ideas. And then that flew him off. And then Bill Maher was I think he said something it's Christians do horrible things too, but they don't murder somebody if you do a cartoon of Jesus.
Okay. Yeah.
No cartoonist is afraid of Christians murdering them because they do a cartoon.
Yeah. So I mean, you could they'll probably argue, oh well, back in the day it was like this and like that. So I mean, I don't know if I mean I'm not arguing against any of that, but like there was definitely Andalusia in Spain back in the day when they had Christians and Muslims living together under the same empire, and they had very constructive conversations and all kind of art and beautiful things birthed out of that, and conversations about God and greater power and how it's all interconnected, or just respectfully disagreeing, but still being able to commingle, cohabitat in the same space with someone who disagrees with them. Like it's capable of that, and I wouldn't even like if let's say that statistic is valid, which it might be. I just don't know. But this is what I'm gonna say. This is the way that somebody who disagrees with that should say it, or the way that I would say it. Okay, well, 90% of Muslims polled think that homosexuality should be a state crime, but 100% of the people who are polled live in a state that doesn't criminalize homosexuality, and I don't see a lot of them going out and being Batman and seeking vengeance or being vigilantes against homosexuals who engage in that activity. So suffice it to based
the
off
point
that,
of what they're saying is that there is a issue with the culture and mindset of the Muslim world.
Yeah, but then I don't think it's right to punish thought crimes. But I understand that argument.
No one's talking about punishing.
Yeah.
They're talking about the dangers of
the thoughts
of
Islam. Yeah.
Because it hasn't gone through a reformation.
I follow, and I don't think it's gonna. No, you can't, because it's not a. You can't talk to. Oh, I'm gonna talk to the top imam of. It's like, no, it's just there's an imam. There's no top imam. There's no centralization of. So
it doesn't need to have a centralization. Christianity went through a reformation, and it didn't need any of that.
But it was centralized in terms of they had a
the central form of Christianity didn't need to do anything for Christians to change.
That's interesting. Yeah, because the big change that
gay
happened,
marriage.
Yeah.
What were Christians saying about gay marriage 10 years ago as opposed to now?
Right. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a big change. Like when Martin Luther started writing his stuff about the inconsistencies in the Catholic Church. I think that's when the schism started to break apart. So
yeah, but
you're talking about modern day.
Well, Christian Reformation happened 1,000 years ago.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm comparing. That Reformation versus this Reformation. They went through the stuff, and because they cut out all the dumb shit because it was prehistoric times. And then it divided into 70 different sects of religions. Now there's Calvinists.
No, you're thinking Lutheran. That's something different.
Well, no, they all consider themselves Christians, but they have different.
There was a council with Catholicism where they went back through, and they
oh yeah, you're talking about.
They literally went through. They reformed the religion.
Yeah, but even with that, there was a lot of dissenters. The Council of Nicaea with Charlemagne, and they were trying to what are we going to keep in the Bible? What are we not? What is going to be after regular? The Council of Nicaea, I think that's when they came together and they started fleshing out what everything is.
They did it again.
Okay, well, the first time, that's never happened. My point is to my knowledge, I don't think that's ever happened in Islam. And
no, it hasn't.
yeah. So that's my point. That's what since that's never happened in Islam, and that's happened several times in Christianity. And it happened around a central power. It's the top bishops got around, and the Pope, with this this big king.
That's actually the point of what I was trying to make. Is
Okay.
It's at the point now where you don't even need central leadership to do something, and
Right.
Christians will just reform on their own.
But that's because of the path that they've been on. It's
Exactly.
because they've been
you have to
in
do you have to do
reformation.
some type of reformation once, and then get the ball rolling where people are like
Right, a little
open
bit
to
more
it.
amenable to change. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And since Islam's never had that, and they don't have a centralized power system to even go to start that process, the Reformation is going to be a lot more contentious. And I don't see that happening in the Muslim world. So I'm agreeing. Like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna go into any kind of Reformation. But because of the structure is different and their histories are different, I think it's not fair to compare Christianity to Islam because of that reason. But I mean, we could dive into that later. But just
are we just gonna be done with the Fresh and Fit? I just want to make sure.
No. I want to go back to the Fresh and Fit because this is connected to it. Because the way that you have a conversation with someone you disagree with, is like that. The way that people should have conversations is to talk about facts or the validity of the parts that they disagree and agree, not about how they feel about it, but just like, oh well, I think this shouldn't be compared to that for this reason, da 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 da. Like when we were talking about Christian and Muslim.
I'm just getting tired of their stupid conversations that they keep having with these.
Well, that's why
chicks.
I don't really watch them because I don't like. I mean, I
Once
get
you saw one, you've seen them all.
Yeah, so
Just every now and then, someone will say something absolutely just astounding.
Yeah, I'm not gaining anything from it.
Like there was one chick, they were talking about body counts, and this one chick was like laughing. She's like, "I lost count by the time I was 18."
Holy shit!
I almost like threw up. I was like, "That's disgusting."
I think that was a solid 2 at 18. I was like,
wow. If there was any time to call someone a whore, it would be when a woman loses her body count number before she's out of high school.
Jesus. Yeah, I remember there was a girl when I went to college. She was, goody two shoes, never body count of 0 coming into college, and then she had a big old binder full of 54 names at the end of freshman year.
Binders full of men.
Yeah, she
like
did.
the Mitt Romney binders full of women.
Yeah, she did her work. Yeah. I'm trying to circle everything back to ways to have arguments or disagreements, and
I'm talking about alpha. I'm talking about high value men.
Yeah,
because that's what their whole thing is.
They're postulating themselves.
I don't give a shit about interesting conversations. it's how are you moving?
Right. You're inauthentic. Well, not even. It's more than being inauthentic. It's
Rogan has his
hypocrisy.
Yeah,
they're hypocrites.
Exactly. Yeah. Rogan's doing his thing, right? So he's either talking about I don't know, psychedelic mushrooms, and he's got some professor who's studied mushrooms for 50 years.
Yeah.
Or he's got his comedian friend, or he's got an astronaut. It's all over the place. But they're incredibly interesting conversations.
Yeah.
Then you have someone like Jocko Willink. Right? That's his last name, right?
I just know him as Jocko.
Jocko.
Like,
Jocko. He's bringing somebody on, and they're having an hour and a half discussion about what leadership means.
Yeah. Almost like
he's never going to have somebody on who doesn't
know that
have like something important to say. He's like, why would I have this conversation with you? This isn't beneficial for me. It's not beneficial for you. I'm just gonna get angry.
Yeah.
This isn't productive.
Yeah, and it's like what you were saying about Bill Maher. Just so I follow. Yeah, I follow what you're saying. I just wondered if there was anybody who would look at that and be like, I wonder if I want to challenge them to have a real conversation.
Because he's been shitted on his show, Bill.
Bill. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't always happen, but I mean, like there has happened where he's kind of like, where he's kind of like laughing. It's like, well, you got me there, because he's like, he can't fucking respond to whatever the guy said.
Yeah.
Because he's liberal in his own way, but he's
and,
going to get caught up, and he's not afraid to get caught up and be proven wrong.
And he invites the challenge.
Well,
I love it. Yeah, because he's always like, and he'll always give accolades to people who come on, just like, man, you know, you're coming into the Lion's Den here, you know, conservative here in real time,
Yeah.
and he's just like, you know, he's like, you know, I've seen him talk to a couple people. He's just like, you know, we disagree on a lot, but I'm really happy, or at least you have the balls to come on a show like this, or like MSNBC. Versus Democrats, when it comes to liberals, going on like Fox News, it's like few and far in between. I'm just like, yeah. So like he gives, you know, praise where praise is due. So I wonder how Fresh and Fit would react if they came across somebody, maybe a female, who came on the show and were able to like hold their own against their conversation. Not in a I'm going to challenge your facts, but just, well, I think that the narrow lens that you're looking at relationships as is skewing what most relationships are, which may or may not be true. But it's like having that conversation, which is like challenges kind of their thought process. I wonder if they would kick him out or not. But I mean,
they wouldn't kick him out.
Yeah, because they would wait for them to have an emotional response to try to get to that level.
I don't know if there's anybody out there that would be able to, because most of what they're saying is true.
Yeah. Well, I got this is the way I'll argue from
people are
the
just
little
upset
bit.
on the delivery. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just get in their feelings, and they're like, "Well, that's me." And
yeah.
They start, you know, you hate women. It's like, no.
Yeah, I don't hate women. This is just this is what I think the facts are. This is what I think the numbers are. So, so it's
Fresh is a joke to me. The more I see Fit, the more I think he's a herb.
Jesus. Yeah, so it's like, not against the line or the logic that he has, but just
like Fresh is just a joke.
I wanna defend. I'm like, I wonder if he's capable of having a conversation with someone who disagrees with him.
He doesn't even say much. You've seen him. I mean, it's
so the big guy is the.
None of them are. Myron's like fit.
The bigger guy, Myron's the light skinned guy who's who talks most of the time, who's doing a lot of the soundboards.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was talking about the other guy doesn't talk a lot, doesn't he?
The African or whatever he is. I think he's African.
He looks Caribbean, but I don't know. I look Jamaican. No, I'm not. Everyone's like, it's somewhere in the island. You're Jamaican. It's like, oh no, there's a lot of different. No.
Fresh. I don't. He seems like he's 100% capping.
Yeah. About the
everything.
Like who he is.
Do you really think that guy can sweep women off his feet?
No. Not without showcasing. Yeah. Not without like postulating like, which is probably why he gets focused on these kind of relationships.
No. Because
no. No, go ahead.
It's just so difficult. There's so much other things that they go into.
Yeah, I feel. I'm ill-equipped for this conversation because I need to watch more Fresh and Fit, and we'll come back to
because there's some of the things that they say are correct. Because there's a difference between. It's just like if you were a man. It's just like if we chose to go down a route with our podcast and start celebrating women more, right? And we start maybe not necessarily saying, "Oh, you're all the prize and you're all queens," but we could, or what we would be saying isn't necessarily wrong or wrong or true. There would be truth to it.
Yeah,
like talking about like how women should hold men to a standard and be respected. This and that.
Right.
But if we only talk about that, it's dishonest because there's other elements.
Yeah.
To the relationship.
Yeah.
We're still not wrong.
Right. But
And then
just,
if we also know the other elements, and we knowingly just lean into that because we know that's what we can do.
yeah, you're
right?
purposefully setting up the frame in a certain way, so that way it's like I always win.
So if
okay,
so we could, or at least I could, because I've watched all of this type of shit
yeah,
with like the manosphere, what it's being called.
okay,
I could 100% reiterate all these points,
mm-hmm.
and I could debate women on them and everything like that.
Yeah,
But I'm not at that level as a man to be able to make the demands of what can be made.
okay,
Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah, to a I
could
understand,
clout.
like you're not,
I could clout and showcase myself as something.
yeah,
Say all the things that I know are to be true, but it's not real for me.
okay.
Do you get?
Because it's not the level that you're actually at.
It's not what I'm capable of doing.
Okay, yeah, I follow that. So, I don't know, because I mean, no, I mean, I'm not gonna. I said I don't know, but I know what you're saying. I agree with that, and when it, like it's like the way that
a
they're
high
framing,
value man does not need to let people know that he is high value.
right?
His presence shows it.
Yeah,
because
the way he walks, the way
he's presented well,
converses with people.
He's presented well because he knows that his image means something, and that first impressions mean everything.
Right.
So he's got to go. Also, he's been with beautiful women
mm-hmm.
because he's in this element because of his stature and what he's been able to make.
Yeah.
So beautiful women doesn't mean shit to him.
Mm.
So he's naturally shit testing every woman he comes into contact with because they don't mean shit to him.
Mm.
And because of that, they're going to show interest because men are supposed to be showing interest maybe. Why is he not?
Yeah, and I can kind of sense from the way he's moving, he's high value.
Yeah, he's not so caught up in who I am, but
right.
he seems like he's a person that's got... You're going to get intrigue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And depending on how good looking he is, he might end up getting approached by a lot of attractive women.
Yeah.
Who are just genuinely curious, trying to feel him out.
Yeah.
Depending on the city that you're in, like if you're in LA or Miami or New York, maybe not New York, but like you're gonna get that attention.
Yeah.
Right. I'm saying a guy like him, he's not getting that attention. Unless he has the flash.
Yeah.
Like you were saying.
Yeah. So he
pulls up in a fucking just lime green Lambo.
He's peacocking. He's peacocking, but he lacks the size. I see. Yeah. I follow. Okay. So
that's what I think is starting to unfold. Is people are like, you can't
starting to notice the size of his tiny little penis.
He's black. It's not.
no, but
probably 12.5 inches.
I'm not at all interested in the size of his dick. I mean, just metaphorically as
you mean his energy?
Yeah, but it's like who he is as a person. It's like if you little dick energy. Like, oh, you're a little dick person, like a fake alpha.
Yeah.
Like you just like a dog who barks but doesn't bite. Like you're just you're pretending to be bigger than you actually are, kind of thing.
Because they can still say the things that are true, but
right.
It's if they're not that, then it just doesn't mean anything. Yeah,
I follow. Yeah, so I mean, I was just surprised because, and while I was trying to say like, oh, I wonder how they would react to somebody that has a different opinion than them. It's like, for example, like because I saw the Avon Preach. I was following like the little exchange that they were having, and I wonder how they would have reacted if they invited them instead of reacting the way that they did. They were just like, they saw that video, they're like, oh man, what? That's kind of crazy. Like I didn't think that bad of it. Let's hey guys, you guys want to come back on and let's have a conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wonder how they would be able to carry that conversation, or if they were capable of it, because
they would. It'd be bullshit. It'd be all cap because it'd be all based off damage control.
Yeah, it would just be it'd just be. I'll be interested because not so much because I'm worried about whether he's an authentic peacock or not, but more so, but more so because like when people react as violently emotional as they reacted, it's like they're overcompensating for. It was almost like full circle. Like they have this show where they're just they're pushing on how emotional all these women are, and then someone makes a video that they don't like, and they just happen
Facts
to
don't care about your feelings. That whole thing.
right. Yeah, I don't care about how you feel. Yeah, fuck your feelings. And then they're just like, I feel hurt. Like all I heard in that video, like I'm hurt.
No, they're just butthurt because they got called out on some shit.
Yeah. So.
And then Kevin Samuels ghosted them out. He was supposed to do something with them, and he ghosted them.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Because he critiqued them. He said something like, "There's too much going on with the manosphere."
Yeah, I get it. I mean,
This, that, and the other.
I mean, because they didn't need to do that. I mean, to be honest, I don't think you should ever react that way to someone.
Well, because like Abba was saying, it's like they've been in Miami too long. He's like, he said it rot their brain.
Yeah, man. That's just
because everything that they were getting upset about and then trying to go after Abba and Preach's podcast about was clout, and it's like they don't give a shit.
Everything that they were attacking didn't make any. It was just like their emotional attack. Like it didn't even make any sense. Like it was like he's like, oh, Abba looks like he just got off a camel. Yeah. It's like all right. Like I mean,
yeah, she shitted on his hair and everything like that. But the funny thing is, you look at Abba and you're like, oh, he gets chicks though.
Yeah, and he's chill.
He can actually go to spots and pick up women.
And that's who he wants to be. Like he doesn't want to be the.
That's why he can pick up women.
Yeah.
It's because he's comfortable with who he is.
Yeah.
And he's not trying to be something he's not.
Yeah. So it's like that's just like.
And he has confidence.
Yeah.
He has economic success. Oh, wait a minute! You're kind of popular and have some clout, and you're not full of yourself, and you have money and confidence.
Splish splash.
I'm gonna take a bath.
Yeah, man, and it's just it's crazy because
he's got like 10 times more game than they do.
I see it. That would make a lot of sense because he doesn't need to postulate that. Oh, well, don't you know who I am? It's like
I make over $300,000 a year.
Yeah. I'm really tall. He's just
I have abs.
Just, all right, man. That's cool, but relax. And then the hair thing was I mean well, first like the camel thing was crazy because it's just like wait, so just because like when I'm like looking at successful black people, as a black man, I was like, oh, it's cool to have cool role models. Not that Fresh and Fit aren't necessarily role models, but just to see somebody who looks like me's making it is a sign that maybe depression isn't all that bad. So it's just a nice, pleasant thing to see. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, man, I'm proud. Yeah, go ahead, man. Like you doing your thing, you're making your money. You successful. You're on everybody's. Everybody knows your name or your brand. It's like, yeah, that's real cool. And for someone like that to turn around and make, I don't know if it was making fun of where he came from, but like, oh, this looks like he just got off a camel. Like I think it's a ridiculous thing to, because it's like, oh, so what's is the bad thing that he was riding a camel?
Or, it was definitely not high value.
It's just like, or are you shitting on the fact that the country that he comes from has camels? Like is that's such a terrible thing? Or like it's, camel in Arabic means beautiful, so it's like, that's a.
I think it was just trying to call him dirty. Like,
yeah. Okay, I see. But then it's like, and then he was talking about his hair, and again, as a black man, it's like, well, why are you trying to hide away your crown? Like I grow my hair, I make the kids grow out their hair because I want them to be proud of who they are. Like if you choose to cut your hair, cool. But I think the worst thing, you know,
He's a stand-up comedian. He doesn't need to be professionally dressed.
Yeah. Oh, ABBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
That's what they do. They're comedians. They do stand-up.
Okay.
And then they react to these videos.
Damn, man. I gotta.
Yeah,
first Joe Rogan, and now like obviously all these comedians are very well.
Well, they're Canadian.
Okay.
Or they're immigrants, but they're from Canada.
Yeah.
So they're in the Canadian comic scene. So we don't know a lot about them. Like
yeah.
They're getting big with YouTube, so they will come to the States now. But
no, but I'm just impressed with like how intellectually engaged a lot of these comedians are. Like I had no idea.
Comedians are the smartest people in society.
It's insane. This is like wow.
Because in order to be a successful comedian, you have to be in tune and understand people.
Yeah. Yeah, be tuned into what's going on, in the world. Cause,
that's why, like, think of this.
And
there's not a single successful comedian, successful comedian, that's full of shit.
Yeah, they're all authentic. That's part.
Because if you're full of shit, the fans won't be there to back you.
Yeah, and you might just get on stage and say outrageous shit, but it's not like I'm pretending to I'm not postulating as something else. It's like I'll just say some wild shit, but it's like I'm just bullshitting to make you laugh, but it's not yeah, that's interesting, man. But it's just the way that he reacted, like just making fun of him, there's
we shit on Haiti.
Yeah. Oh.
Right?
Yeah, that's
he's
Haiti, like It says something. Oh, roam back to canoe. I was like, yo, what the fuck, man? Like that's again, black man. This is one of the only countries that liberated themselves. It's like, yo, you're just showing how that's the most ridiculous thing ever. It's like you're just gonna punish or attack a whole population of people or a whole nation that just is going through some real shit, and just because you're upset that this person who happens to be Haitian says something you don't like piece of work, man. And then they're sweaty next to each other. It's like, I guess you're anatomically right. I mean, people always sweat, but
they're just shitting on their look.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I was like, bro, they have 1.5 million subscribers. It's a single camera that they put on a tripod in their apartment on the same wall for the past 6 years.
Yeah, and they try to shit on them for that too. They're just like, oh yeah, well we have this much on plaques.
Studio.
Yeah, we put this much money on plaques and stuff like that. It's like.
He was talking about they got you get I think when you hit 200,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot how. I think 100,000 subscribers, you get a plaque. 250, you get a plaque. Maybe 500, you get another plaque.
Okay.
And then I think after that, it might be 1 million.
Mm.
So they have their 1 million plaque in the frame.
Yeah.
And I think the Fresh and Fit, they've got a 250, and they've got that somewhere.
Oh, okay. But doesn't ABBA have more subscribers than them?
Yeah. They have 1.5 million.
So why are they?
No, he was saying, we've hit, this, and then he said, come next
Oh
year. At the rate we're going, we're gonna lap you, motherfuckers. And he was just yelling at them.
Yeah. We'll lap you guys. We'll lap you.
But they're not competing with anybody.
and just because you
they do reactionary videos. That's all they do.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to react to some crazy shit that was said in something? All right.
Yeah.
And then they react.
This is not even in the same lane, or not even the same race. This is just all right. Well, you have this thing, you're doing your thing, and I'm doing mine. So it's and it's kind of what Alvin was saying. It's yo, we're just staying in our lane. We're running our pace. We're good.
They don't even compete for the same viewers.
Yeah.
It's a completely different market.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Then he's just trying to shit. Oh, he's just grasping for straws. He's just oh, you have a shitty mic, and it's well, I mean, the shitty mic. You heard good enough to be able to be upset about everything they said, so can't be that shitty. But it's oh, you guys are old. Haha, you're older. It's oh, okay.
And Preach is married.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. And that like I mean,
shitted on him for being married. Like it didn't make any sense.
And they're all about statistics. So I mean, they're just like, oh well, yeah, we get more girls than you guys do.
For
it's
free.
Like, well, like
and the fresh guy keeps saying for free because he's like, we don't pay for box.
Just a little anecdote at the end of every phrase.
He keeps saying it, makes me more and more think that he does.
No. But it's just like I mean, if you're comparing yourself, I mean, statistically, you're probably gonna pull a couple more girls at least than someone who's married. So compare two single guys to one single guy, someone who's married is statistically dishonest. To say it nicely. It's just like I don't.
But it just doesn't make any sense because.
And just because you get more numbers doesn't mean that.
If Alvin and Preach were on the same energy, I would get it.
Yeah.
But they're not on that energy.
Yeah.
It's all about like what you're discussing, what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So if Alvin and Preach were all about like the high value man, men don't cheat. They exercise options and everything like that. And then Preach was married and never cheating on his wife. Yeah. Then people would be like, "What's up, bro? Like you're telling us all this, but you're not like you wifed up and this, that, and the other."
Yeah.
But they're not. They're just doing their own thing.
Yeah. It's like they're not being hypocritical or inauthentic. And winning. They're just. Yeah, I think
they're doing their own thing and they're winning at it. So just let them do their thing.
Relax. Yeah, and it's like even if you do pull more girls, it doesn't mean like I wouldn't.
Well, it would mean something if you were
in that
same spectrum.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of being a high value guy is because a lot of chicks. That's what essentially it translates to.
I guess, but like
a high value guy is somebody that women want to be with.
Yeah, but even
men want to be them, women want to be with them.
Yeah,
that's what a high value man is. So if you're not getting women at a reasonably like I don't know what a high rate is, but in a fairly consistent basis where you never really have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Then you're then you're fulfilling that duty.
Yeah.
But if you're not running around in that realm saying this and being I'm a high value guy, it's like, well, it doesn't matter how many chicks you get.
Yeah, or if you just want...
are you getting some to an extent where you're satisfied?
Yeah.
Well, then you're satisfied. Like, you're not... Because you're not in that realm trying to compete.
Yeah, you just don't want it. Like, let's say, like, I started off with this one person and, she's a quality girl. It's like, I don't really care about the number of...
like dating experts, right? Like, if there's a guy who's a dating...
that's like they're focused on, let me teach you guys how to get girls. So these...
Not necessarily like that, just like advice. Like, okay, here's like real advice. Like, here's ways to groom. Here are these products, cologne, shoes choices, clothing...
Yeah.
Approaches, cold approaches, how to operate, like people who not in like a cloudy way, but it's like really okay. Like this is how you get women. This is how you navigate it. This is how you build your brand and everything like that, right? If they're not turning around and bringing in like just chick after chick after chick after chick, they can't do their job.
Yeah. I follow. Yeah, you can't be you can't manage corporate funds in a stock market and drive around in a 07 Prius. So this is just you gotta showcase or you gotta be what you. Yeah, I follow. These two things have to match up. Yeah. So
for them to come after them with that, but it's like they're not on that energy.
Yeah,
they're not claiming to be. Something.
These big pickup artists, they're just, we're comedians first of all, and then we just do this YouTube thing
and make jokes. They make jokes about the videos that they react to, and it's funny. Sometimes sometimes they have interesting points, but more often than not, it's just funny quibs that they have.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And then the fact that they were like, their work? Oh, we work harder than you, Nick. It's like, all right, or like you're. I mean,
they have other stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, so it's like
their whole thing is the platform that they're building.
Yeah.
when you don't see Abba and Preach do a video for like a week or two, it's because they're touring.
Yeah. Or just
because Abba's in LA for a weekend, and then he's
Yeah.
going to go to New York, and then he's going to go back up to like Toronto, I think is where they're from, and then he's going to do a video because he's now not doing his other gig.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not working. Like they're just not working on this stupid YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like an unfair race. It's like, well, I'm better at basketball than you are. It's like, yeah, but you're in the NBA, man. I play on the weekends. Like, it's okay. But
I'm a professional football player, though.
And I'm still dunking on you. Well, I think worse than that was like their apology was
It was half-assed.
Yeah, well, like the written one was just what did they say in here? Oh, that men get attacked in this space, and we don't want to contribute to it. After they said all the shit that they did, it's like, all right, maybe they regret it after the fact, but then you say, oh, I'm sorry for doing that. Not, oh, well, enough people get attacked, and we're not going to contribute to it. Like, this would be something that's perfect to say as in the reaction to their video, to the album featured reaction video. They just said like, well, like, you know, I have some feelings on it, but, you know, men already get attacked enough, so I don't want to be part of that. But it's like so like they're acting like what happened didn't happen. It's like, you know, studying World War II in Japan.
It was like a whoopsie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we said some things, and then but the big thing they said, we take accountability and apologize about making fun of someone's country
like if somebody was
wife on air.
It'd be like if somebody was in the Ku Klux Klan and they said, every now and then people make mistakes in life, and then just kind of like gloss over it without actually talking about anything.
Yeah. It's like, wait, didn't you just burn a cross and
like if you found out if I had been in the Klan, you would probably have some questions. You'd be like, well, I mean, can you maybe
invite me to the party with the Grand Wizard? Come on, man.
No, like how did you get in there? Like what got you out? Like was there like a particular event or like?
You still feel sorry?
There would be some questions, but if I was just like, well, people make choices, and sometimes they're not always the best. You just have to move on and go. It's like, all right, you're glossing over pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, but they were like the fact that they said that we shouldn't make fun of someone's wife or whatever on air. It's like, wait, so are you, per your statement, are you welcoming doing that off air? Like it's okay.
I think they meant like publicly. Giving that out is what they shouldn't be doing.
But privately, you could shit on someone's country and someone's wife?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, yo. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but
if you're talking shit with somebody, it's like,
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they were like. Like, you shouldn't publicly be disrespectful to somebody's wife.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, but...
I mean, it's...
People
aren't perfect, right? So there's going to be a woman or a girl that and her dude is the douche or something like that, and you're gonna like me and you are gonna be like, God, so and so's husband's a complete d-bag, and then like we're gonna talk shit, but we're not gonna like say it to his face. We're not gonna like go up to her and be like, well, why is your husband such a tool? Like we're not gonna we're gonna be respectful unless of course it's like some glaring like character flaw that like she missed.
I'll follow. I just don't see hey man, why did you marry Beluga? It's like, well,
I think it could be like this. It's like it'd be like, oh, like that guy. I can't believe that guy was talking so much shit about us. F him. He's probably married to some fat chick, and then that could have been it. You know what I mean? Like he could give that emotion. He could give that emotional vent
in private,
just with the guys in that room, and just leave it at that. But for whatever reason, he
decided to go on air and
sound like a complete psycho.
You know what it is? Now I didn't think about it till just now. He's so used to putting women down, or just to shitting on people who just shitting on people in general. He's used to putting people in their place, so to speak. And then so these people, someone did something he didn't like, and he's like, oh, you know what?
He's very
I'm mad.
defensive.
Yeah, he's like, well, I'm gonna put them in their place. So because he's so conditioned to that action.
Well, they put
he's
on
thinking,
chef hats.
Yeah.
Super cringe.
Yeah, that's cute. But
They'll put it on.
yeah.
The only thing that I thought was cool was the hats
Yeah.
for caps.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Well, I mean,
like somebody talking, all of a sudden they put on a hat. It's like, what the hell's that? Oh, you're capping. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, like more of a subtle thing.
But the more I see it and all their little things that they do, like, it's super cringe.
I mean, I don't mind. I like dad jokes and shit like that. You know, I like really bad comedy, but yeah, I mean, that's
not
the
like
least
that.
stuff. Yeah. I mean, I watch Hot Shots. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, no, I follow.
No, because you have to stop. Like,
yeah. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute.
You have to take off your headset. You have to get the chef's hat. Then you have to put the chef hats on. Then you have to put the thing back on. And then you're like, all right, I'm ready to go in now. Like, you do that like once or twice, and it's a funny bit.
Yeah.
It's great that it's there. You got it out there. You can market a little bit.
I think
it's funny.
Doing it. Yeah.
But like, if you do that like once every 3 weeks,
yeah,
the 10th time you see it, you're gonna be like,
a little much.
You're like, really, the chef hat?
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of funny the first time I saw it, and then like the 5th time I was like, this is cringe. This isn't cool, man. This is like really dorky. Like,
yeah, relax. Yeah, I follow, man. I mean, well, the least. I could stomach the hats. That's all I could. Out of everything that they've done, I could stomach the hats. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like everything else that they said, like trying to make fun of their appearance or like their equipment or the way that they look or who his wife is and then they challenge him like we'll box and it's like all that shit.
Then they backed out of that.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, man. It's barking. A barking dog. It's like, oh, wow. It's not even beta energy, you know what I mean? They got it wrong. I think when they were like, beta, it's not even beta energy. It's straight up bitch energy. You're barking. You can't bite. I'm biting. It's
You're
bitch.
barking and you can't.
You're barking, but you have fucking dentures on. Like, you're bitch. It's bitch energy. I don't know. I don't want to make any. I don't have a crystal ball, but I think he's gotten so used to what he's doing that he just, like they said, he lost touch of reality. He's stuck in Miami and he's doing his thing. He's lost touch of what's what. Like, you got a problem with somebody, you talk to the person you got a problem with.
I think they just showed their true selves.
Yeah. No, I think that's gross. I think it's disgusting. That's probably why they lost everybody, because everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna disincentivize that kind of behavior. I don't want anything to do with that shit. Fuck that.
Because that's the exact thing we don't want.
Yeah. It's so much worse.
In like the
manosphere. It's so much worse. I mean,
like men's issues.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, first, like, their bitch ass behavior is bad enough. Like, it's just like, yo, that's bitch assness. Like, that's bad enough. But then to be like a Hippocratic on so many other levels. It's like when it comes to like paying for box or like I'll pull all these girls. It's like I don't know, man. I don't.
I'm just checking
so,
down to 386. It actually went up 1,000 and then it went down 3.
Okay. Well, I'm sure they'll be able to stomach the hit. I don't imagine that anybody.
It's at like I think 50,000 subscribers dropped in a week.
Yeah, that's a hard hit, but I can't, like, the people who are still in
I don't want to know what the money is that they're losing.
Yeah, well, but I'm sure I'm sure they'll survive and they'll still be around and they're doing their thing, but it's just like that behavior itself. Like, I mean, I can't speak for them as individuals, but that behavior, that was bitch ass behavior. Like, that's something that like you know, you're in Chicago or New York, like, you're just or just in front of the wrong dude and you just act like that, like, you're gonna get killed. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. You talk about someone's wife like that, you're just like,
with the fucking with the fucking Zos,
Wait, what's that?
The Zos?
The Zoes?
Zopound?
What's Zopound?
The Mafia. Zopound Mafia. The Haitian mob.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about that.
They're legit.
Yeah.
They're like the people that hack people up with machetes and shit.
Oh, shit. Oh, I just...
Except it's in America. Like...
Oh, shit.
They're all in Miami. That's where they're from. Like, and then they're in New York, too.
That's why his apology came out. He was just like, no, we shouldn't shit on someone's country. He's like right there.
I know, like they were founded in Miami.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He probably have a solid presence, and he's just like, oh, yeah, I don't know. We should make fun of someone's country.
We know somebody.
Yeah. But like even if it's just like a regular Joe Schmo on the street with you know.
Well, then it makes me think is who's following them and listening to them.
Well, like, you know what it is? Like, when people make up their minds, and this is why I'm pretty sure they're going to stomach it. When people make up their minds about something, like, it's hard to change it. Like, if people who believe in who they are and what they do, they're going to see everything that comes against them as, oh, those are just haters, man. Da, da, da. Like they're just not even concerned about looking at facts and stuff like that, and looking at the way that their whole platform is structured. It doesn't look like they're overly concerned with ascertaining truth and having solid conversations and talking to people who disagree with them. Like they attract a very niche group of people who are just
they're definitely worried about the hemorrhaging.
Yeah, that's why they're doing all that damage control right now. Like, oh no, well, actually this, and it's just like I saw like a 5-hour thing. I didn't watch it. I saw it posted, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not that committed. I don't care that much about it. It's a little too much. If you like, regardless of like who's at the receiving end, you could do it to somebody who like works, 40-year-old who's like not married dork who works at Chuck E. Cheese all his life, and just doing that behavior, just like making fun of that person and his wife or the place that he came from or what he looks like, just doing that is bitch ass behavior. Mm-hmm. And that's what I don't buy. I'm big on respect, man, and that was just disgusting. And the fact that that's what they postulate all the time. It's like, oh, you gotta make these women respect you and da da da. And so it's like you're so big on respect, but then you don't have a fucking ounce when it comes to someone who just does something that you don't like. It's like you like it makes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think they're kind of full of shit.
They've never faced any kind of solid, like, I don't understand, kind of adversity that you face, and you're gonna react that way. It's like I don't think you've really been through much. And it's like, you know, other people haven't been through a lot, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just that.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean that they haven't been through a lot. It's just that they're not as
they're not
as high value as they're claiming to be.
Yeah. Let me, like, not that you haven't been through a lot. Let me say it like this: like, if the way that you react in a dire situation. Right, that fight or flight thing. Like, oh, you see something that like really gets your, you know, like being able to keep a level head and get the job done, or I guess in this example, just communicate what you want to say, or to do what you need to do in order to have everyone understand where you're coming from, mm-hmm. or to express something. Like, the ability to do that's a muscle. That's something that you have to work out, and that you have to train, and you have to, or you just put in enough situations that you know how to deal with that. And from that, their reaction to this it was just showcases to me, and I could be wrong, but it showcases to me that they just don't know how to deal with that kind of shit, and not to. That's necessarily a bad or a good thing, but it's just it's an unfortunate thing, because like, maybe if they were able to, or they've had circumstances like this before, or they're able to, or they bring more people on the podcast, and this changes up their formula, and they're like, you know what, let's have something that challenges our belief system a little bit more.
They're not. It's the same shit.
I have this. It would be better if people just grew from took advantage of when things happen to them and just utilize that as opportunities to grow or to look at things differently, as opposed to fucking just bitching out.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane.
Yeah.
A lot of people were responding to it. Kevin Samuels talked about it.
Mm.
I think Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews went into it. Do you know him?
No.
He's the guy that sounds like DMX.
Shit.
On his intro?
I want to what? No, I need to look him up. I love DMX.
He doesn't talk like him. It's because he's from like the same borough.
Oh, okay.
So he can, like, his intro, he sounds like DMX.
Oh shit. That's funny.
Well, he was very upset.
Yeah, bad.
Because he was mad at his fans for asking him to react. Because he was like, all of this is trash.
Yeah.
This is garbage behavior. This isn't making anybody better.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, man. It's real unfortunate.
And it's like, you wanting me to react is just furthering, like if you've been on my channel at all, like you already know how I feel about this. So why do you want me to like express my thoughts of what
you already know?
Of what you already know.
Yeah.
Because you obviously know he's gonna shit all over Fresh and Fit. He's gonna be like, this is bullshit. Like. But he was like, yo, leave. Like, unsubscribe, get off my channel.
Leave me alone.
He was like, fuck you. Like, he kept saying it. I'm not even kidding.
It's off of that, like the whole, experiences or people saying something that, and just reacting to it in a way that you might grow from. I'm gonna butcher her name. Muhammad Ali's daughter. Layla
Ali.
Layla Ali, yeah. Oh, she had this whole thing on Twitter. She was talking about the vaccine.
I was made aware of it as well.
I'm introducing it to you like you didn't know about it. You told me about it.
It seemed like a fairly measured response.
Yeah. I thought like I'm.
Now, you can critique my. I'll try and.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you give it a spiel.
I'll give like a quick summary, and you tell me if I'm wrong. Basically, she was explaining how some people who there are people who don't want to be vaccinated because they feel like they're in good enough health and in good enough shape and take care of their body in a good way that they don't need it, and that doesn't mean that they're rejecting science or that they're anti-vaccinations or anything like that.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, I think there's like that's pretty much what. Well, like the exact. I'll just read it. So then. Well, because I could see like different ways that people react to this, and depending on whether they agree with her or not. Like depending on how they locked in, but and I can't read, so this doesn't help. But people don't seem to understand. People don't seem to understand that just because some folks don't wear masks, don't want the shot, don't listen to the media, or live in fear, it doesn't mean they don't believe the virus is real or think they can't get it. They know it was created to harm humanity. So that part, like I could see how some people think they know it was created to harm humanity. It's like kind of feeds into a conspiracy theory about like it being manufactured or if she's just taking it to mean like just viruses in general are just parasitic and that's how they operate. So we understand it from that spectrum versus not. But so just depending on whether you agree with her or not, you might look at that a little differently. But then there's more. And it says they simply choose to build up and trust their own immune system like they've been doing all their life. If they get it, they will deal with it. It's a God-given choice. I know this kind of faith is impossible for some to comprehend, but lean not on your own understanding. Before you claim they are putting others in danger, you should do your own research to learn if that's accurate or if that's actually true. Yeah, you can't change anyone but yourself, so do you. And then she has a real thing at the bottom. But yeah, I think that there's like there's 4 different ways to take that. Like, people who agree with what she's saying, they're just like they're upset at the outcry of people who are railing against it. And it's like, oh, how come? Like, why are you upset by what she's saying? And then there's people who agree, but then they think that she could have said it in a little better way, some bedside manner, in order to communicate better to people who don't necessarily agree with that perspective.
Uh-huh.
And then there's then people like disagree, but are like measured in the way that they think that it's like oh well, I think you're just misconstruing my lack of understanding for my sense of urgency of the pandemic, type of thing. And then there's people who are just just flat out disagree with it, and like disagree with her and disagree with the whole not wearing a mask thing, and they're just like, oh, this is disinformation and you're helping feed this bad narrative and how terrible this is and this is why, and just like a hyper inflammatory response to what she's saying.
Yeah.
So because I probably like I lie in the camp where like, oh, I agree, but I could I think it could be said a little better, just because I could see where at some points where it could cause some contention, but especially the part when she's talking about how it was created to harm humanity, or like, oh, that kind of faith is impossible for some people to comprehend, but just don't lean on your understanding, and she starts off with like, oh, people not understanding, so it's like, it's almost like oh, well, you just don't know, well, it's like a lateral type of thing where it's like, oh, well, I'm at this higher level than you are, so if you don't understand this, then maybe you should just open up your mind a little bit more to get to my level. And some people are just super prideful in their positions and what they think and how they believe, that they got inflamed by that.
I think a lot of it was just virtue signaling.
Yeah, I'd say a lot. Well, I think there's a lot of people who are upset, who like really think that this is a world-ending event type of thing, and they're just they can't comprehend why somebody would ever say don't wear masks or don't take the vaccine. They think like we're all gonna die.
There was like some poll that was conducted, and I think, I forget the percentages, but like the majority of the people that were polled thought that it was like a 10% death rate.
Yeah.
And then people were critiquing this. They're like, this is like all media driven. Like,
yeah,
how is there a poll taken where the majority of the people are 1,000% off the mark? Because I think that's what it comes out to, right?
Yeah, because it's like
It's 10, and then it's like point.
Yeah.
Depending on, it's either 0.5 or 0.05.
Yeah.
That I think fluctuates, but it's like you're 1,000% off the mark.
Yeah.
On what the death rates are, and that's like astounding.
Yeah. So people just and that goes in line with what we were kind of saying before. People who have a idea in their minds, it's like it's kind of hard to change that. Just like no matter what kind of stats that you throw at them, if you show them like, oh no, this is the actual
Australia
stats,
just announced that they're having, I think 21 or 2,200 police officers are being assigned to specifically enforce people like to not like leave their houses.
Yeah, that's intense.
And like 5 people died. Like it wasn't. Like 5 people died of COVID.
Oh, okay.
It was like a few people died, and then they do this.
The hyperbolic.
Like, I don't think you can. I was reading somewhere. I don't think you can leave a 5-kilometer radius of where you live.
Holy shit! I saw something.
You cannot leave the 5-kilometer radius of where you live.
I hope you got your real estate near a grocery store, because Ooh, that's not a lot of space.
Yeah, they have checkpoints where people are like checking where their locations are.
Oh shit.
And they're issuing out fines, and you already read the article where they were murdering dogs.
That's what I saw.
Or pets, I should say.
Yeah, oh god. Yeah, that's insane. So that's a little much. But it's like if you just look at it from and not Australia, like Australia, that's just too extreme. So that's an example of I don't think that people who have instituted those measures are virtue signaling. I think they really think that this is like an apocalyptic level event, and they need to deploy every power that they feel is necessary.
Or it's the government usurping their powers to enact control.
I think anybody you give like people that kind of power, it's bound to happen. Because everybody who's in power, like, I mean, when anybody
it's funny
in charge,
hearing people that are trying to like escape Australia.
It's dangerous out here. Oh, what is it? The 8-foot spiders
Is that another?
the boxing kangaroos? Nah, it's the government crackdown. It's like, wow, really? Yeah, but it's like when people have that kind of power, it's like, they think that they're right. They think that there's nobody else who can do the job as good as they do, and that can be good or bad. If it's good in the sense that they're confident. So it's like, all right, there's some weight behind their decisions. You would hope, and then but it's bad in the sense that they're gonna. Oh, I know what's good for people, or people are gonna react if X amount of people die, and it's not gonna be under my watch. So I'm gonna do everything necessary in order to make sure that it doesn't happen. I'm going to utilize every tool that I have, every whatchamacallit? Yeah, every tool in the in my arsenal to make sure that this doesn't happen. Not on my watch, and then they just shut everybody down, and then it's like, yeah. So that all that to just say that some people are just sure some people are virtue signaling over it, but I think pretty sure there's some people who really think that it's just absolutely terrible, and for those people, instead of and maybe she knew all this, maybe she did it like a little, made her come like just like somewhat not as tempered as possible on purpose, just to have the conversation in the first place, just to invoke the conversation.
Yes.
And that's what I think. But if you disagree with her,
well, social media has made it difficult to have like just nuanced conversations and just open dialogue.
Yeah.
Because it's all about
snapping back,
either supporting or attacking the opinions, and it's just a little crazy.
Yeah. Whereas like yeah, shit. Nah.
There he is.
Little bitch. Little fresh and fit fly. Fresh and fit bitch fly.
They're starting to call them twin sisters.
Oh shit. That's funny. But yeah, turn off this fan. Yeah, I think some people, maybe she did it. Maybe she had that post set up just to as a complete thought. Just because of the nature of social media. I don't have a Twitter. I had one at one point because I was trying to keep up with. I was like, oh, that's a good way to keep up with what's going on, and then
you slowly figured out that it was not a good way
bitch, to. Yeah, just a bunch of bitches that it's a bitch way of communicating.
Well, there's now a ton of bots, and there's like the Russian accounts. Like, there's so much crazy stuff happening.
Yeah, I just don't like it. I the more personable you can get, the better. But even with that, it's like you can't communicate like 100% what's set up in your mind. So it's.
I mean, that's why podcasts are becoming so popular.
Yeah, I mean, look at us. I mean, we tripled our numbers.
And you have Spotify giving out these like insane contracts to people.
Yeah. We went from like 1 to 5 in 4 short weeks. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
Thank you, brother, sister. No, that's cool, man. I like it. Every little bit counts, man. It's one brick at a time. But yeah, with Talia, it's like the way that I would like to have liked that conversation to have gone. It's like, all right, she says that, and then somebody goes like, hey man, like I don't like the way she said like.
Well, it's Twitter that you're not gonna get that on.
Yeah, I don't. But in my fantasy world, this is how I would like it to play out. Like I would. This is how I'd like it to. Listen, world, if I had absolute power, like I was saying, is terrible for anybody to have, this is the way that I would make you communicate. But I would imagine that somebody like who disagrees but is able to formulate solid thoughts and converse with someone who has a different opinion would look at that and explain in a nice tweet back more eloquently than I could say that well it's not a lack of understanding thing. It's like I understand that you believe in your capability of fending off against it. I just believe that the every little bit helps. Just because I have a locked door doesn't mean I shouldn't get an alarm system and a shotgun. So I want to arm myself with as much defensive capabilities as possible, and I want my whole neighborhood to be safe. So I want to encourage everybody else to do the same. If they decide not to,
you want to have your own personal armory.
Yeah. It's like, well,
you're
like
becoming
people,
whiter by the day.
Yeah, yeah, it's West Virginia's fault. Pretty soon, I'm gonna have a Michael Jackson disease.
You did move to the whitest state in the country.
You know what's funny about West Virginia? It has all this these funny jokes about it with like with like cousin inbreds and da da da. But when me and the missus went to get our marriage license and then go to the course, and the first question that they asked was, we have to ask, but are you guys related? And I was like, no, and I was offended because I was like, I thought this was West Virginia. So I thought it was okay here. What the fuck? But no. But the funny thing about West Virginia, it's the only state that was created to spite the Confederacy. They were just like, whoa, Virginia's too racist for us. We're gonna create our own state. And now it's just the butt of everybody's jokes. But then we have not Louisiana, because you guys have New Orleans, so that's cool. Mississippi and Alabama to shit on, so take that.
West Virginia. We're not Mississippi.
But yeah, I would imagine somebody this is my make believe cool world, like talk to Talia about like, hey, like it's not that we don't understand, it's just that every little bit counts. And then like spark a whole conversation about like, okay, well, this is how I did my calculus, and I think this extra defense system is necessary versus, oh, well, I have the different calculus and I just don't trust that defense system because they've lied to me before in the past. Mm-hmm. So I feel some kind of way about it, or they're financially incentivized in order to operate the way that they do without any kind of repercussions because they protected themselves against being sued, even though they have fleets of lawyers. And I have some concerns. It's like, oh, that's interesting. Uh-huh. And then like at the end of the conversation, it's like, oh, I understand you understand me, and it's like no one's convinced, but it's cool. Like it's just, all right, we're different, and now everybody understands each other, and then we move forward from there, like on to the next thing, and then we like you were saying one day like about like how people used to talk to each other like, oh, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Anyway, you see the Bills game yesterday. It's like people were able to move on with their daily lives and focus on other.
Or you'd get upset. You'd be
without-
like, "Oh, you're an idiot. You don't know."
Yeah.
But like, it would be such a surface level thing because you're mutually understand social dynamics. You're like, well, I don't want to ostracize this person because I might need this person. It was like a subconscious thing.
Yeah. So.
But now we're getting more and more removed from that social interaction.
Yeah.
But we don't have to interact with people, so that's why people can comfortably shit on somebody from their phone or their laptop or whatever like that because there's no human connection.
Yeah. It all devolves.
You can annihilate their character and not have to deal with the actual social repercussion or social consequences of that. Either an issue with you in that society or that person physically assaulting you.
Yeah, that's a poopy action. It's an anal beat of a reaction.
A pop never sounds so good.
Well, I do have my asshole exposed here.
No, he does not. It's comfortably inside his pants.
Oh, you would know how comfortable it is. Turn that shit
You're
around.
not bisexual. And you've used this podcast as a way to come out of the closet.
Yeah. Sorry, kids.
I've been carrying a relationship with not only my podcast partner, but my true partner.
I had a real fresh and fit moment right there. It was exposed for a quick moment.
Actually, that for some reason that made me think of something. I was talking to a guy, and he mentioned, or he referred to someone as a mulatto. He's older.
Okay.
He's in his 50s.
Yeah.
And he referred to someone as a mulatto, and then he was telling me the story, so I wasn't there for when he said it. And then he said that somebody told him you can't say that, and he's like, but it just means that they're mixed. And then he's like, no, but it's a bad thing now. And he's like, what? Because he grew up at a time where
I didn't. Well, I didn't.
It's just like the word. It's just like the word Negro. Right?
Yeah.
I have a grandmother. She's never said it.
Yeah.
But my grandmother's 105.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So,
solid genes. Yeah.
She literally grew up in a time period where if you called a black person a Negro, you were being respectful.
Yeah. So, I miss the whole.
The Negro boy, the one that works at.
What a nice little Negro boy. Yeah. That Negro boy probably did it. Well, it's not. I didn't even know.
You would use it instead of saying the black kid that helps out at the barber shop, would be the Negro boy that works at the. It was just
I didn't know mulatto was a bad word. I missed that too.
I don't think it's bad. I think it's just an outdated term that isn't viewed highly.
Yeah.
Because most people probably don't even know what the fuck it means. So you'll. Or younger generations.
Yeah.
They unless you look up on it my youngest brother probably doesn't know what a fucking mulatto is.
It's is that the Star Wars thing that gives you the Force?
Because by the time
oh yeah, those mulattoes.
by the time he came out, or he was growing up, that term was gone.
Yeah.
We grew up in an era where it was very common for us to watch TV or movies from the past.
Yeah.
Whereas their movies from the past is from the 70s.
Yeah.
It's isn't that crazy watching those old, Clint Eastwood films, and we're old as John Wayne, black and white western,
where you see the spots in the screen, and
every now and then there's a crack filter flicker in the middle of
the countdown. Oh my god. Oh boy. Yeah, man. It's I remember watching Free Willy, and I was just and the old Indian guy's "Hey, you don't know anything, white boy." And I was like, "Whoa, this is so dicey now." I don't. I
Well,
wonder.
just like Pocahontas, right?
Yeah. What happened, to Pocahontas?
You like don't. You have to be careful of these white devils
Yeah.
and the bloodthirsty savages. There's a lot of lines in that Pocahontas.
Yeah.
I remember this black guy laughed. For some reason we watched it like the teacher like had it like he put it on for like a half day, and this black guy just like just like
I'm sorry, I'm black and I'm sorry.
no, the white devils.
Yeah,
just,
that's yeah.
Just let out a huge laugh. Just started laughing hysterically.
He apologizes for his actions. Being too excited. Little shit. That's funny, man. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I was talking to somebody about they were saying how this this white person was telling me that critical race theory is being their ideas about critical race theory being introduced into the schools is like or being struck out of the schools is like, I don't want to hear a white person's idea of about critical race theory. And I was like, well, man, I mean, it doesn't matter who they are, like, as long as, they're just criticizing the ideas, like, it's not a problem. It doesn't matter where the like whose lips are uttering the critique. What matters is the issue it's in and of itself, because that's what we're really critiquing.
Wait, he was talking about somebody talking about it or critiquing it.
Like he was saying, this person was so he approached. We'll call him Bruce Lee. This guy, someone approached Bruce Lee and told him that
I believe it's pronounced
white.
No, it's pronounced Bruce Lee.
No. Oh no. I'm not.
Bruce.
Yeah. We'll call him Bruce.
Or Boos?
Mostly.
No, Boos. Their accent. They don't
I
pronounce the R.
I just hear South Park. I just can't.
Oh God, they do it terribly. Okay, so
but so someone told Bruce Lee that that they're happy that they're not going to introduce critical race theory into said school system, and he was like, "Ah, ching chong chong!" It's like, nice.
I was really taken aback. I was like, where did that come from? No, it's okay. So somebody was telling him that it's great that they're not doing that.
Yeah.
And then he was telling you
that he doesn't want to hear any of that coming from someone who happens to be white.
Them teaching critical race theory?
So white lady talks to Asian dude about, good thing they're not bringing critical race theory into the school system.
So he doesn't want a white person even commenting on the topic of it.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So what? I can't say something about slavery.
Yeah,
slavery's a really terrible thing. You know what? Even though I agree with you, you're white.
Shut up, white. Yeah.
I don't appreciate you commenting on it, but I think it's terrible.
Yeah, like I just don't. I don't subscribe to that, man. It's just like, like I don't like if you're just saying like, oh, you don't like critical race theory in the schools and you're happy it's not going to be introduced over here. Like, all right, like we could have a conversation about the parts of critical race theory that you agree with or don't agree with, or how you feel about it, but your race shouldn't play a factor in that conversation.
Well, he probably just doesn't have a clue about anything surrounding it anyway.
Yeah, I guarantee you, it's not.
Most people do though.
Yeah.
People don't like to pay attention or read up on things.
It's too complicated. They just don't want to overcomplicate their lives. It's simpler to just find the villain and decry them. So then,
Well, one person said something to me once because I was like getting upset about something, and they're like, why do you care?
yeah, shit.
And I was like, because these things
Sorry.
just are important to me. Like, for whatever reason, I like to be informed. And being informed, it's going to piss you off because there are terrible things that happen.
You could have,
like,
said because rainbows are pink.
Yeah,
it
well,
doesn't.
we started kind of getting combative because it was like, well,
he didn't even care. He asked the question like, "Oh, why do you care?" But he didn't like what he meant to say. Like,
no, because then his comeback was like, well, like you can't do anything about these things. And then it's like, so am I just like supposed to be ignorant and just like never pay attention to anything?
Yeah. He wasn't asking the question. He wasn't asking the question. He asked the question, but it wasn't really a question. He was just making a statement. He was hoping that you would just be like, oh, yeah, I guess I shouldn't know. But yeah, but like and I disagree with that. Like not being able to do anything. I think you can do something about everything. It's just going to be a little microcosm. Like you're not going to be able to change everybody, change everything. But
the reason why I can't do anything is because so many people don't pay attention.
Because some people think his way, yeah. And if more people were more concerned about all these things, then more things would be able to get done.
How do you think they were able to execute 6 million Jews?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because the people of Germany were like, we all hate Jews.
Yeah, it's true.
It was years of like planning and like moving things this way and creating propaganda and hype and then demonizing the Jewish community and then slowly pushing people away and then
they're feeding on an idea that was already
German citizens seeing things that are happening as things progress and they're like, well, I don't really want to rock the boat because thank God that no one's coming after me. I got to protect mine and I just need to wear.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, we're putting them in mass graves and gas chambers.
Yeah, they're feeding into something that already existed. They like people's like a public sentiment that already existed, and like
no bad government. People didn't say let's all have a shitty government.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so easy.
The government gets bad is because people aren't paying attention or checking it.
Yeah.
As it continues to progress.
Yeah. And the bad is
just a little thing, just a little bit at a time.
It's like take this measure, that measures. Yeah.
And it's not always even evil.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. It's a perspective thing because you might
like people think America's evil, but it's incredibly complicated. Like,
yeah, and that's why in hindsight, like from a certain view, you could view it as evil, but from another view, you could be like, oh, it's just a country, and all countries engage in all these serendipitous type of activities.
The more powerful you get, the more other things that happen around the world affect you.
Yeah. Yeah. And the more you worry about the things that are happening around the world. Because
the economy of the Netherlands isn't doing anything to change El Salvador. But if something's bad happening in Netherlands, and Netherlands has deals with like Poland, and then France is going to be very concerned about what's happening in the Netherlands because France has these connections. It's all these world dynamics
because it's an economic block over there. So it's like if one country does bad, like when it happened in Greece or when it happened in Spain, it's like
Sri Lanka hits the shitter.
Now it affects the global economy because the global economy because interconnected. It's the global economy. It's not like your individual movement of money.
The more weight that you have in it.
Yeah, the more significant it's going to be.
Obviously, America's going to have its hand in other things because why wouldn't it?
Yeah. And all in the interest of protecting its interests and economically, diplomatically, just like militarily, they just don't want to, and intelligence wise, it's important to maintain some level of authority to be able to play in all these different arenas.
And the more you do that, the more you're going to overplay on certain things or overstep or do too much or do too little.
Yeah.
There's going to be problems, but at the end of the day,
yeah, and you're going to make
if we step out of that role, we're just going to, you're going to have to take a hit
I mean, we took that role. We took a step back after World War One, and then World War Two happened. So then we're like, oh no, let's not do that. So
So then we just went full speed ahead.
yeah.
Never again.
Australia was right. Yeah, that's
That was a long pause.
yeah.
I think that might be a good closing point.
Yeah.
I think we're both a little bit tired.
Yeah. I wasn't planning. I was like, yeah, I'll be ready at this time. And I was like, oh.
I drove 4 hours.
Sorry. Damn.
Well, I was driving the 4 hours regardless. I had to come back to the area.
Right.
This is just like a pit stop, and then I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, I feel you. Oh shit. Well, I gotta go pretend to be a parent now.
All right,
everybody.
I'll catch y'all later. Hopefully, we're not dead. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Be a little bit more active next time. Feel free to comment and
Questions, comments, concerns.
send pillows this way. All right, y'all.